So my question for today is, why is living the way God wants us to live good for us? So when I grew up, I was always around the church. My mom is actually the campus pastor at Rancho, and I've always kind of been raised around it. Once I was 6, around elementary school, my parents became much more religious than they were when I was younger, and things were really confusing for me. When I was younger, the relationship I had with God was much more for my parents, just so they would be proud of me, and I looked up to them and I wanted to be more like them. And as I got older, I started to hit that rebellious stage, and I just started to get confused and get doubts, and that feeling that I had with God, that relationship, just started to feel like it wasn't there. It was just for my parents. And then I remember being in fear of doubting, or being in fear that he would judge me, and I felt guilty for a lot of things, and it was definitely a struggle. I remember being in middle school. It was definitely a time that was very difficult for me. I was very confused. I learned a lot of lessons, but recently I actually went to this camp and I gave my life to God and I got baptized. And the way that it led up to that, it's a very long story, but to me personally, it's a miracle that I am here right now. And when Joseph actually asked me to come here to film, I took it as a compliment, especially from Joseph, because he's a great guy. And today I wasn't so feeling in a great mood. I was tired, mentally tired, just kind of in a fuzzy state of mind. And I even thought about, am I really gonna go today? But you know what? Joseph is someone who I honor, and I already told him I'd come, so I would never cancel on him. And I prayed about it. I prayed about coming today, and I prayed for God to give me the strength to come here and actually sit in the seat and talk to all you guys. And I know what it's like being confused. I know what it's like being lost. I understand there's a lot of struggles in this world. Life's not easy. But I can tell you one thing, and recently God has made life not just happy and joyful, but at peace. Recently I've been so at peace with life, and that's just something that I've searched for a long time. And again, like I said, I've learned a lot of things, and I've been through a solid amount of things. And being with God, being able to come to him and talk to him, and just realizing that he doesn't judge me like the way I thought he did, and that I can be myself. Being with God has helped me in lots of ways, and it's not this instant, happy, joyful thing that a lot of people might think. It can be that way for you, but don't be turned down if it isn't. And like I said, I think the Bible and God gives us a lot of great guidelines on how to be a better person in general, and just to be for me at least, a man of character, someone that's respectable. I want to be someone that people can count on and rely on. And I think that's a really good way of becoming a person like that, is through God. I remember feeling like I didn't have very many friends at one point. I was growing up, I was always homeschooled, and I didn't like it. I wanted to go out and be with people and have friends like all these other kids did, and I sort of realized that I wasn't gonna be able to make friends and do it not being myself. So I think God, another thing that he helps me with a lot, is just being myself. There's not this shield that you have to put up. There's no emotions you have to bury down. It's really softened my heart, and it's helped me in so many ways. And I think living the way that God wants us to live, it might seem hard at first, but in the long run, it's so much easier. Growing up, there was always that thing missing. There was always something missing, and I never knew what it was. I went up to the woods for a camp with no cell phone. I know it sounds crazy, for a whole week. At first it was really intimidating. I didn't want to go. My parents actually had me go, and at first I was kind of upset that they were having me go, but after a while I started to be so appreciative of that opportunity that they gave me. Because going up to those mountains, I really was able to find this relationship with God, just with me, not for my parents, not for people that I looked up to, just me. So far, it's been incredible. There's not anything else that I would wish for. And I'm so happy that I'm here today to be able to talk to you junior hires and let you know that you're not the only one going through struggles. I know what it's like. I understand. Things aren't always easy. And it won't be easy with God just because you're with God. But He'll definitely show you the guidelines of the path and which way and direction you want to go to in life. So I think living the way that God wants us to live is just a great way to be at peace in life. I think there's a big difference of being, like I said, happy and go lucky and joyful all the time and being at peace. And peace is just something that is very unappreciated and something that I've really learned to appreciate. So there's this Bible verse I'm going to read. In Deuteronomy 10:12 through 13, he says, "And now, Israel, what does the Lord your God require of you, but to fear the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, to love him, to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul." I think this verse gives a good idea of the connection that we should establish with God. We should fear God, but not in a terrifying way. We should love God just like how he loves us. The things he sacrificed for us is something that I've never been able to appreciate it. And now that my eyes have been opened and just the peace that I've been able to see the amazing things he sacrificed for us. He gave up his one and only son. And I always thought, oh, it's one guy. I never really thought too deep into it, but the bigger the connection that I've established with God, it's just helped me appreciate those kind of things, and it's helped me as a person. It's grown me into a much better person than I was before. There's many guidelines that he gives me. When I have any struggles, I go to God and just talk to him, just like how I would talk to somebody who I look up to, somebody who I really appreciate, because he created us and he really appreciates us. He really appreciates you. And I think life can be confusing, especially in the time a lot of you guys are in right now. And I think God can give us the guidelines to just feel better, more at peace in life. And that's something that I want for all of you, just like how I want it for me, myself.